think I've been gone for 10 minutes. I'll be back in a moment. I submit to you, are you loving your neighbor as yourself? I mean, if you've got it all going together, if you're loving your neighbor as yourself, you'll come out here and see about somebody who doesn't have means today. It doesn't have to be someone you know. Just help out, little by little. It's a grand gesture, and it means a lot to some people. Now, where are you going to go? Well, you can't go very far, that's for sure. You're not in a vehicle. There were 2.5 years I was staying in my car. But you're not going to go very far. And why would you want to go far on the Sabbath day? However, you can go down the street and sit in the church all day. I'm not knowing people who would go all day. Unless there were services there, then they probably would go. Or you can go in and out of the buildings. You can go to the courthouse, or you can go to the library, or to the stores. But there's not a whole lot that a homeless person can do on a daily basis that's going to make any sense to getting things together. What you do, you gather your resources, your contacts, and hope that somebody will respond. Where are the responders? Are they all out here suffering the same? No. They're not responding. They're not responding. Maybe a few of them will come out and see how you are, and they see that you're alive. Oh, you made it through another day. That's about all they do. And so therefore we're left with these reports, hoping that sometime, somewhere, an impact is going to be made, because we have said, yes, this is so, this is really the way it is going out here. Now I'm on the way back to the library. I didn't carry all things. I'm saying, supposing I did, I had to get some necessities just to eat today. Nothing more than for today. I didn't carry anything through the night. A true Sabbatarian in the Jewish people would have in store what's for the Sabbath and nothing beyond that. I haven't been in that place in a long time where I can store stuff, you know, refrigerators and so forth. But what I'm saying is, the scenario is you carry everything everywhere you go. That's ridiculous. And if they're just saying, well, we'll just see how long we can have the poor endure this for us, just to see how it goes, they're the ones that are mental. I submit to you that is true. Why would you make someone endure more than they have to do in order to get things done? That is the mental part. Not the ones who have to endure it, but the ones who impose that sort of thing. That is oppression for sure. Now I'm at the convenience store. Is it going to be grace and mercy that's going to follow through so that I can be sustained in the poorness until I move on to my resting senior domicile or some other senior living arrangements that can be made through a social worker, family, etc. What is the outcome of the poor person out there who doesn't have someone who's doing outreach directly to them? That is the point. I'm Bishop Claudia Humphrey. I'm making this report. Another thing you have to deal with is the false reports, because the false reports mean that they're going to say something inappropriate or do something inappropriate, act like they look like you, act like they dress like you, act like they talk like you, and also give you singing lessons while you're at it, telling you how to sing high notes or how to sing low notes, and they're not even involved in the work that you've been doing for the Lord all this time. Now I'm almost to the corner. You can see there's a little convenience store in the corner. But all contrary, no church is coming out to, none of the churches are coming out, or agencies are coming out to see how you are doing personally. Even social workers have to be called upon if you would want them to call upon you, or if your family would want to call upon you. I'm looking at the First Congregational Church across the corner. They're open on Sabbath morning. I've been in there on numerous occasions on Sabbath morning. This is Saturday. And I'm looking right at the corner of Walnut and Los Robles in the city of Pasadena. But as I said before, they're not necessarily going to come out and see how you're doing personally unless you call upon them. And how long will that take before you can round up somebody? Particularly before the cell phones came out, there was like, if you have coins, you can use the payphone, but that doesn't mean that anyone's going to dispatch someone to your person so that you can get help. Okay, now do you care? The library is right there. Remember, behind me there, downstairs on computer number 22. But the coffee bar is not open on the weekends. So what happens is, whoever is homeless have to take their belongings with them. We're going to see how that works, because the nearest place to get food on the weekends would be a block or two away, which means that they'll have to expend more energy just going back and forth. If they want to get back on the computer, which seems to be the only way that they can connect or communicate with others, or on Skype, for instance, or Twitter, YouTube, blogs, Facebook, what they have to go through. So you see, the All Saints Episcopal Church is to my right over there. They have meetings of all kinds and varieties. And I've made a few reports from that site. And then you have the hotel here. Now this building right across the street that I'm looking at is the old building where they used to have other meetings. They closed it to meetings and opened up kind of like a print shop there. Down the street is also where they used to have an Adventist fellowship. It's a church on the corner. They had an Adventist fellowship out of the John Carter report at that building there years ago. And then they moved on to Holliston Church near the Pasadena City College. But still, I'm walking quite a distance. Supposedly, I have all my personal effects with me. And all along the span of road here, you can see it just gets deeper and deeper as we go along here to get what we need and return, hopefully the same hour, the same day, maybe the same 10 minutes. And as you can see, I've sat here before and talked here before and also sung right there. Across the street from the library is the police station. And you can see, if I pan, you can see the dome of the center of the city. I guess you can see it.
For your safety, watch your step.
I wish I could go to church today. It's Sabbath, but I called Todd Leonard about that earlier today. And now I'm getting off the bus. And there's my foot. And that's my bag. And that's the courthouse right there. is the library. So you see now my carry-all, and I'm still the same person, returning the corner here near the courthouse, which actually happens to be the place where I got my marriage license in 1967. So what does Bishop Claudia Ann Goodwin-Humphrey do? She reports the problems of the poor as she experiences poverty herself. The definition of a missionary is to live among the poor, help the poor if you can. I'm also adding to it making reports on social media, religious social media. There's no other agenda but the work of Jesus Christ. Thank you. Now I'm in Pasadena at Los Robles in Colorado. It's Sabbath morning, and I've just called Todd Leonard, who is the pastor at Glendale City Adventist Church. Near here is also All Saints Episcopal. If you see the east-west bank there below, that would be the Episcopal Church in that quarter there. And here comes the bus. I think it just goes near the library. That's where I would be going next. There's an assumption, that there's a little following behind me and my tail, It's nobody's business what I did with my last hygiene, just so that I make sure I take care of it. But these women on the street and these men on the street, they lie there to your hand. So you're about to be surprised at any moment who's going to come up in your tail. So now the question comes to my mind, would they be asking, why don't they provide a bath or a room or something why don't they provide a bath for you and change of clothes and so forth like that? I'm not supposing that they would even think in that direction because, you've got all these commercials and ads pretending like they know what's going on in every corner of the earth. And every time you supply information or you get a new twist on how to do things, they've already put a commercial out there but that kind of throws the whole idea in a different direction. It's not a commercial life. It's a life that exists simply as information and help to those people who are disadvantaged. It's not for commercial use. I'm not telling homeless people that they should be on an exercise program. I'm not telling homeless people that they're supposed to be on a diet program. They haven't the means to do those types of things, but fashion seems to want to step in, tell them to fix everything, and get an extreme makeover. And this is not possible with the poor. And so I'm just reporting what I found. Thank you. So after a night of staying with my bag, somewhere in the cities, usually a minister tries to find a quiet, solitude place where there's no visitation. But I found that most of the time, the man on the street lies keys to your hand, and the next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of men. Trafficking type situations, which can make a minister feel uncomfortable because they're ready to present the word or the victories of God through the night. But man on the street has it in another twist, and it looks as though there's a compromise that's going to come down, maybe a little prostitution or some other crime going to pursue. And so the minister has to go through the crowd and the bus, and of course you don't see anybody on my camera right now but me. But this is a situation that is brought to bear, and I put it on the internet. Not that it's going to really be, it's going to sway anybody or sway the public, or they're going to be able to jump in and do something. Because after all, I've been a minister since 2001, and I haven't seen much difference in my reports as a result. But that it is kept a record is really paramount to all the situations, because then there is no excuse saying, we didn't know, we had no idea where you were or what you were doing. The ministry Old Town preacher, I am in Old Town Pasadena. I did that for 9 years until I nearly lost my voice. So this is a situation that is brought to bear so that information is kept. I'm Bishop Claudia Humphrey. I'm a Seventh-day Adventist ordained pastor, appointed bishop to do public ministry. It is by decree, not by vote. Thank you.